The 30-day monk mode protocol I am about to share with you will change everything about how you think, feel, and operate in the world. But it requires a level of commitment and discipline that most men will read about, but never actually implement, because it demands that you sacrifice everything comfortable and familiar for a month in order to discover what you are truly capable of when all distractions and excuses are eliminated. This is not a temporary lifestyle experiment or a social media challenge. This is a complete life reconstruction system that uses strategic isolation and disciplined practice to break you free from the patterns that have been keeping you trapped in mediocrity and rebuild your identity, habits, and capabilities from the ground up. But before I explain the protocol, you need to understand why traditional approaches to personal development fail and why extreme measures are necessary to create genuine transformation rather than just temporary motivation. Most men try to change their lives by adding new habits while keeping everything else the same, which is like trying to build a new house on a cracked foundation. The old patterns and environmental triggers will always undermine your efforts to create lasting change. Real transformation requires destroying the old version of yourself completely before rebuilding something better in its place. And this destruction cannot happen while you remain embedded in the same social environment, daily routines, and comfort patterns that created your current limitations. The 30-day monk mode eliminates every external source of validation, entertainment, and social buffering, so that you are forced to develop genuine self-reliance, internal motivation, and authentic self-knowledge, rather than continuing to depend on others for your sense of worth and direction. Here is exactly how the protocol works, and why each element is essential for creating permanent change rather than just temporary improvement. Week 1 is Elimination Week, where you systematically remove every distraction, comfort, and crutch that has been preventing you from facing yourself honestly and developing real strength. This means complete elimination of social media. Delete the apps, deactivate the accounts, remove the temptation entirely rather than trying to use willpower to resist checking them constantly. This means ending casual social activities that drain your energy without contributing to your growth. No hanging out just to pass time, no meaningless conversations that serve only as entertainment, no social obligations that exist purely for the sake of avoiding conflict or maintaining appearances. This means eliminating entertainment consumption that numbs your mind and prevents you from developing the capacity to be alone with your own thoughts. No television, no streaming services, no random internet browsing, no podcasts or videos that serve as background noise rather than focused learning. This means removing substances that you use to manage emotions or social situations, alcohol, recreational drugs, even caffeine if you use it to mask fatigue, rather than addressing the root causes of low energy. And most importantly, this means eliminating romantic and sexual distractions that provide dopamine hits and emotional validation, without requiring you to develop genuine self-worth and internal validation systems. Week 2 is Foundation Week, where you begin building the basic disciplines that will support everything else you want to accomplish during the remaining time and beyond. This means establishing a daily routine that starts before dawn and includes intensive physical training, designed to build functional strength and mental toughness, rather than just aesthetic improvement. This means implementing daily meditation or contemplative practice that develops your ability to observe your own thoughts and emotions without being controlled by them, which is essential for making conscious choices rather than just following impulses and social programming. This means beginning serious study of materials that expand your understanding of leadership, human nature, and strategic thinking books by men who faced extraordinary challenges and developed extraordinary character in response to those challenges. This means learning practical skills that increase your self-reliance and ability to solve problems without depending on others. Whether technical skills, survival skills, or craft skills that create value rather than just consuming it. And this means establishing practices that connect you to something larger than your own immediate comfort and convenience. Whether spiritual practice, service to others, or contribution to causes that will outlast your own lifetime. Week 3 is Intensification Week, where you increase the difficulty of all your practices while adding new challenges that push you beyond your comfort zone and reveal capabilities you did not know you possessed. This means increasing the intensity and duration of your physical training to levels that would have seemed impossible when you started, which teaches you that your limits are mostly mental constructs rather than actual physical boundaries. This means taking on projects or goals that require sustained effort and skill development, rather than just consuming information or following routines created by others. This means practicing voluntary discomfort through methods like cold exposure, fasting, or other forms of deliberate hardship that build tolerance for difficulty and reduce your dependence on constant comfort and convenience. This means taking greater responsibility for your environment, relationships, and circumstances, rather than just accepting whatever situations you happen to find yourself in. And this means beginning to plan how you will maintain the strength and clarity you have developed when you re-enter social life and face the pressures and temptations that previously controlled your behavior and choices. Week 4 is Integration Week, where you begin selectively and carefully reintroducing external elements while maintaining the boundaries and practices that have created such powerful internal changes. This means reconnecting with people who support your growth rather than just those who are convenient or entertaining, which often means discovering that some relationships were based more on mutual weakness than mutual strength. This means choosing activities and commitments that align with your authentic values and long-term objectives, rather than just going along with whatever others expect or suggest. This means maintaining the physical, mental, and spiritual practices that have given you genuine confidence and self-respect, even when social pressure encourages you to return to more comfortable and familiar patterns. This means using your increased clarity and strength to make better decisions about your career, relationships, and life direction, rather than just drifting according to circumstances and other people's expectations. And most importantly, this means committing to periodic returns to isolation and discipline in order to maintain the connection to yourself and your principles that can easily be eroded by the constant demands and distractions of social life. But here is what makes this protocol so powerful. It forces you to confront every weakness, fear, and limitation that you have been avoiding through distraction, entertainment, and social validation. When you remove all external sources of stimulation and validation, you discover what remains when the noise stops: your authentic interests, values, capabilities, and the areas where you need to develop greater strength and competence. Most men discover that they have been living according to other people's expectations and social programming, rather than their own carefully examined principles and consciously chosen objectives. The isolation reveals the difference between who you actually are and who you have been performing to be, which allows you to begin building an identity based on genuine self-knowledge rather than external feedback and social approval. The 30 days also prove to you that you can handle discomfort, uncertainty, and challenge without falling apart or giving up, which creates unshakable confidence in your ability to face whatever difficulties life might present in the future. When you know you can voluntarily embrace hardship for growth, you stop being controlled by fear of discomfort and start being motivated by the possibility of becoming stronger and more capable through challenge. If you are ready to stop making excuses and start making the kind of transformation that will make your current self unrecognizable in the best possible way, you need to commit fully to this protocol rather than just thinking about it or planning to do it someday. Transformation requires action, not just intention, and the men who will thrive in the increasingly challenging world we are entering are the ones who prepare through voluntary hardship rather than hoping that comfort will always be available. Follow this channel and turn on notifications if you want more specific guidance on implementing practices like these and maintaining the strength they create over time. The monk mode is not about becoming a hermit. It is about developing the internal foundation that allows you to engage with the world from a position of strength rather than neediness. Are you ready to disappear